48 in the first 3 years of the Iran-Iraq War. This drew the ire of global powers, none more so than the United States, who sent in naval task forces to escort oil tankers and merchant ships through the Persian Gulf. This led the U.S. and Iran to exchange fire on a number of occasions. Not surprisingly, the U.S. came out on top in most of these exchanges. This helped cement the United States as public enemy number one in the minds of many Iranian leaders, including those in the military. Since that time, Iran has sought to develop asymmetric military capabilities to offset America's insurmountable conventional superiority. Five U.S. weapons should be foremost in their minds. F-22 Raptor. When Iranian aircraft began targeting U.S. drones conducting surveillance over Iran in 2013, Washington responded by providing the UAVs with high-value air asset escorts. These escorts often took the form of the F-22 Raptor, and for good reason, as Iran's American-made F-4 Phantom fighters are no match for the U.S. fifth-generation fighter. In fact, the F-22 pilots frequently toyed with their Iranian counterparts, as the Air Force Chief of Staff explained of one incident. He, the Raptor pilot, flew under their aircraft, the F-4s, to check out their weapons load without them knowing that he was there, and then pulled up on their left wing and then called them and said, "You really ought to go home." In the event of an armed conflict with Iran, the single-seat, twin-engine F-22 would be integral in the opening minutes as the U.S. sought to gain air superiority over Iranian skies. Fortunately, this is the exact type of mission for which the F-22 was built. Iran's military would have little effective recourse against the F-22. B-2 Stealth Bomber. No threat from Iran terrifies the United States more than its burgeoning nuclear program. It's for this reason that every American president has said that when it comes to Iran's nuclear program, all options remain on the table. Should the U.S. have to resort to the military option against Iran's nuclear program, the B-2 stealth bomber would figure prominently in the operations. One of Iran's best defenses is its massive and unforgiving geography. The country is 3 times larger than Iraq and roughly the equivalent to the size of all of Western Europe. Most of its major nuclear facilities, as well as some of its important military sites, are located deep inside the country. Some of these are located near important cities, such as the Fordow nuclear enrichment plant that's located near the important religious city of Qom. This is what makes the B-2 stealth bomber so key to any American attack on Iran's nuclear program. As Northrop Grumman, who makes the plane, explains, the B-2 is a key component of the nation's long-range strike arsenal and one of the most survivable aircraft in the world. Not only can it penetrate heavily defended areas and elude sophisticated anti-air defense systems, but it boasts incredible range with the ability to fly 6,000 nautical miles unrefueled and 10,000 nautical miles with just one aerial refueling. GBU-57A-B Massive Ordnance Penetrator. The B-2 bomber is also crucial to a U.S. strike against Iran's nuclear program in another regard. Namely, it's the only aircraft capable of carrying the Air Force's GBU-57A-B Massive Ordnance Penetrator. While the U.S. has sought to deny the operational concept, formerly known as air-sea battle, was directed at China, it has been less coy about the purpose of the massive bunker buster. If the U.S. decided to attack Iran's nuclear program, it would almost certainly use the MOP to destroy Iran's Fordow nuclear enrichment site, which is buried deep inside a mountain. Amphibious Combat Vehicle. In the event of an Iranian-U.S. conflict in the Persian Gulf, such as Iran trying to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. might find it necessary to seize some of Iran's coastal property. This will require the U.S. to execute amphibious landings, which have become increasingly difficult in light of the proliferation of precision-guided munitions. Fortunately, the U.S. Marine Corps has just the answer in the form of the Amphibious Combat Vehicle ACV 1.1. Much about the ACV 1.1 is still unknown, but the original request for information in 2011 called for a vehicle that could self-deploy from amphibious shipping and deliver a reinforced Marine infantry squad from a launch distance at or beyond 12 miles with a speed of not less than 8 knots. Crucially, for the current context, the Marines demanded that the vehicle must be able to protect against direct and indirect fire and mines and improvised explosive device threats. Lasers. While still in the early part of their development, military laser systems are quickly becoming a reality. According to various news reports, recent tests of the Navy's laser weapons system, LAWS, surpassed their expectations in how quickly and effectively it tracked and destroyed ever more difficult targets. Not surprisingly, the Navy is currently testing the LAWS in the Persian Gulf aboard the USS Ponce. That ship features a gun that uses electromagnetic force to send a missile to a range of 125 miles at 7.5 times the speed of sound. Although lasers still face crucial limitations, such as their ability to operate in less than perfect weather conditions, expect the Navy to work out the kinks in the years ahead.